As you can see, it says B and friend, but no, actually it says best friends. Wolfo, my Therian friend, actually just has the other half. She has gifted it to me today and I'm really thankful for it. She really is one of my best friends and she means a lot to me. She really does. Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of PTP Novi That's Me. In this video I wanted to remake my video on kith, other-hearted and animal heart because my way of filming, my way of talking and explaining has really changed a lot. I do think that this video is very important for anyone discovering themselves and the Theriotypes and stuff like that, because the misconception is easily made that some things are Theriotypes which are actually kith types. I'll explain all in this video what kith types are and how to discover you have one or not. This video is mostly inspired by the fact that there are so many wolf Therians, snow leopard Therians and dragon kith especially, who say that they are a Therian or an Otherkin because of feeling a connection to this animal. Like very often you will see online on any kind of forum or app or website like, hey, I'm blah 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 and I have this connection to this animal and that's why I'm a Therian. While we all know, as I have told you in my previous video as an explanation on the basic terms of therianthropy, video in the description, that this is not therianthropy. Connection isn't therianthropy, it's a giant misconception that connection equals Theriotype. Now what is therianthropy and what is that connection thing then especially? Well, the basic definition of a Therian is someone who identifies as an animal. They feel as if they are an animal on a non-physical level. Like they have shift, they have the urges, they have the mindset of an animal, stuff like that. And Otherkin are basically the same, except that they identify as basically any non-human being. But the thing is that connection doesn't really imply anything identity related. It's not that you have a connection to a dog, that you actually feel as if you are a dog, right? Well, what is this connection thing then especially? Well, this connection thing can imply a kith type. What is a kith type? Well, being kith is having a connection with, or a connection to, or identifying with a non-human species. Similar words are animal-hearted and other-hearted, which mean the same thing but are more specific. Animal-hearted being that you have a connection to, or with, or identify with an animal species. Other-hearted meaning that you have a connection to, a connection with, or identify with a non-animal species. Most often those are non-earthen species like dragons and unicorns. So correct terminology on being kith, animal-hearted or other-hearted is by example, I'm dog-kith, I'm kith with dogs, I'm dog-hearted and I'm dragon-hearted. All of those are correct terminology for the same kind of thing. Well, what is this more specifically? What does this connection to, connection with or identify with mean? Because, well, what is the difference between identifying with an animal and identifying as an animal, meaning kith and kin? Well, there is a giant difference. Not only is identifying as an animal meaning that you feel as if you are the animal, but identifying with an animal can feel just as extreme and just as personal, yet still different. Well, having a connection with an animal or to an animal or identifying with an animal means that you have a deep connection with this animal, that you feel as if you belong with them or them with you. You feel as if you really relate to this animal and what they do and who they are. You also feel like they relate with you. You feel as if you understand them or them understand you feel as if they are family or you are family of them. You feel a really strong bond between you and this animal. While identifying as an animal really means that you feel as if you are the animal. You have those mental instincts, you have those urges, those shifts maybe, mental shifts, phantom shifts. You really are the animal yourself, you see. While being kith means that you are kind of like family of them. You are related, you are connected to them, you have this special bond with them, but you are not them. And that's the biggest difference. Now, it really catch on this is that both of those can actually experience shifts. What are shifts? Well, please, in the description is a video about what shifting is and what it is like. Both of those, kith and kin, can shift. However, the difference is that if you are kin, you actually shift, while if you're kith, we call it a cameoshift, meaning a shift that belongs to an animal, you do not actually identify as, you do not feel as if you are them. Both of the shifts feel very real. You feel wings, you feel horns, you feel as if you want to bark, you feel as if you want to crawl around on all fours on the ground. You kind of have them in both of them, which really confuses a lot of Therians and a lot of kiths, meaning that many who are connected to wolves, by example, have cameoshifts of wolves. Shifts can confuse them so much that they actually think that they identify as this animal and think that they are like wolfkin or wolf Therian. The easiest way to kind of find out if they're cameo shifts or actual shifts, so from kith types or from Theriotypes, is to find out if they're caused by something external. Cameo shifts are often caused by an external factor like heat or cold or music or like a documentary or a kith-type, like a connection to the animal, can also be triggered to cause this cameo shift. Usually those are way less frequent, way less strong and don't occur a lot. They come every now and then and they disappear again for months. While shifts for Theritypes, as Therian, usually are much more frequent and are like almost every day and they're strong and realistic and stuff like that. This is however no guarantee. It's really a fight to figure out if they're kith or kin types. I also know that as a Therian you can also have cameo shift. It's not only kiths who can have cameo shifts. Cameo shifts can be any shift from any animal that you do not identify as. You don't require a connection to the animal to have a cameo shift. So I as a Therian, as a pink river dolphin Therian, a suicide shepherd dog Therian, can perfectly have a cameo shift of a squirrel. To recap, the basic difference between kith and therianthropy or Otherkinity is that kith have a connection with an animal, a connection to an animal, identify with an animal, while kin, like Therians and Otherkin, identify as the animal and do not necessarily require a connection. A good example of me is I'm Cat-kith. I have a deep connection to cats, I feel them as family, I relate to them, I have this deep connection between me and cats, and that makes me Cat-kith. I actually have cat cameo shifts every single day of my life. They're frequently there, they're really strong, which often makes me doubt if I'm actually cat-kin. But I do not identify as a cat in any way. I do not feel as if I'm a cat. A lot of sites identify as pink river dolphin, but I have absolutely no connection with the pink river dolphin. In fact, I hated them for most of my life. Related to this video, I'm actually secretly currently questioning to be a Goldcrest kith or Goldcrest kin even. However, I'm mainly questioning kiths, but I'm starting to think that kin might actually even be more realistic. I'll write a link down in the description of a blog of Cameo that talks more specifically about how and why I think that I might identify as a Goldcrest or I might be kith with Goldcrest. I'm really researching myself at the moment. I'm trying to figure out my behavior and my feelings and cameo shifts and other shifts and stuff like that. I really don't want the third Theritype because I feel kind of fake for owning that. So I'm gonna have a bit difficult with this and accepting this. But well, yeah, look at this beautiful bird and I'm questioning it in any kind of way. Especially kith, especially kin. And I hope you have a good time questioning yourself and finding things out. Please, if you have any kind of question around being kith or being kin or kith-type or kin-type, always free to be in the comment section. Woof, Petey.